What's up everybody? My name's Cole Rudy, and today I wanted to show you guys how to play the intro to The Needle and the Damage Done by Neil Young, which is one of my favorite guitar parts of all time. I learned this pretty early on, and it's a good lesson in hammer-ons and doing melodies within the middle of a chord. He does a lot of that in this song. So this is just the intro. It's not the whole song. When he sings, he actually hits a couple different chords, but this is a great place to start if you're digging Neil Young and trying to learn his tunes. So let's start by going over the chords, and then we'll move into the picking and how to play it. So the song starts with a D chord, and this is your standard D major chord. And that one we refer to as the triangle chord because it makes a triangle shape on the neck when you fret it. So we're going to be using the 4th string open, that's the D string. Our first finger is going to go at the 2nd fret of the 3rd string. Our 3rd finger is going to go at the 3rd fret of the 2nd string. And finally, your 2nd finger will be going at the 2nd fret of the high E string. Awesome. All right, the next chord he goes to is a chord named C sus2. And for that one, we're going to take our 1st and 2nd fingers off and leave our 3rd finger on the 3rd fret, of the 2nd string. And all you have to do after that is put your 2nd finger or your middle finger on the 3rd fret of the 5th string. And that ends up sounding like this. It's really D sus4 add 9, because we got that D in there. Or D sus4 sus2. I'm not sure. Okay. Whatever it is, it's this. 3 0 0 3 0. Cool. The next chord we're going to do is we're just going to take our 2nd finger off. We're going to leave that 3rd finger anchored on the 3rd fret of the 2nd string and put our 1st finger on the 2nd fret of the 5th string, or the A string. And that gives us G add 11 over 13. Yeah. Or G sus4 over 13. Yeah. G sus4 add 13. That's probably a better name for it. Here we go. And so that's going to be 2 on the 5th string, open D string, open G string, and 3 on the 2nd string, and then open high E. And our next chord is going to be D sus4 add 9 over B flat. So our 1st finger is going to be on the 1st fret of the 5th string, so all you have to do is move it back 1 fret from where you were before, so from the 2nd fret to the 1st fret on the 5th string. We're going to have an open 4th string, an open 3rd string, and again our 3rd finger will still be anchored on the 3rd fret of the 2nd string, and then a high E string open. Cool. After that, he goes into a C chord, and that's this. C chord is going to be 3rd finger on the 3rd fret of the 5th string, 2nd finger on the 2nd fret of the 4th string, open G string, 1st finger on the 1st fret of the 2nd string, and then an open high E string. And that's the one where he kind of does a bit of a melody in there. So we'll get into what happens there in a moment. All right, and then the last chord is an E sus4. So that one is going to be just like an E major chord, except our pinky will be on the 2nd fret of the 3rd string. So to go over that in its entirety, we have an open low E string. Our 2nd finger is going to be on the 2nd fret of the 5th string. Our 3rd finger is going to be on the 2nd fret of the fourth string, and our fourth finger is going to be on the second fret of the third string. Cool. And another way to think about that chord would be like if you made an A major with your second, third, and fourth fingers and move them all up one string each. Very beautiful. Okay. And then to go to our last chord, that's E major. And that's going to be open, low E. Our second finger is going to be on the second fret of the fifth string. Our third finger is going to be on the second fret of the fourth string. Our first finger is going to be on the first fret of the third string. And then open second and first strings. So B and E are open up top. And that is the same shape as A minor, which isn't in the song. But it's the same shape as A minor, and if you move all your fingers up one string. Alright, dig. Let's go over kind of what happens with the picking here. So this song has a basic just up-down strum that's swung, kind of like this. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and so what he kind of does is he splits it up into like a bass line with the root notes of the chords, and then does different stuff up on the higher strings. So you're gonna get like you're gonna, like on this D chord for example, you'd be hitting either the root, or which would be the fourth string, or the fourth and third strings together, and then just catching the top two strings, the first and second strings together. So, and it's swung. So swing tempo versus straight tempo. Let's talk about that for a second. So straight tempo would be like with eighth notes. If I strummed like this, down and up for a whole measure, would go like this. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. Swing tempo is where we do the down strum just a little bit longer than the up strum. So you end up getting this 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and so that's swing tempo, or feel, a swing feel. It's a lot like a horse trotting, you know. Da 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 da. Yeah, or long, short, long, short, long, short, long, short, long. Cool. So let's walk through how to play the tune, or this intro. So the first thing you're gonna do is go a down pick on you're gonna make your D chord, and you're gonna do a down pick on the fourth string there. And then you're gonna do an up pick just on the high E string. Then you're gonna do a down pick on the fourth and third strings together. And you're gonna take your second finger off, and you're gonna do an up pick just on the high E string again, which is now open. Then we're gonna do another down pick on the fourth string, and your third finger is on the third fret of the second string. We're just gonna hit that one by itself. Up pick. Then we're gonna do a down pick again on the third and fourth strings. And then you're going to hit the second and third strings together, that 3 and that 2, up. So we end up, when it's all together, getting this. So one more time, that's. Cool. All right, and now for our C sus4 add 9 chord here. That's what it is, C sus4 add 9. I figured it out. Okay, that one is, we're going to go a down pick on the fifth and the fourth strings, and then an up pick on the second and third strings. And then you're going to do a down pick on the fourth and third strings, and then an up pick on the first and second strings together. And then again a down pick on the 5th and 4th strings, and then an up pick on the 2nd and 3rd strings again. And then you're going to do another down pick on the 4th and 3rd strings, and then an up pick on the 1st and 2nd strings together. So all that together slowly sounds like this. Alright, again, that is this. Cool. And you want to let all this stuff ring out as much as possible when you're playing this song. That just means that I'm not like going like that and stopping the groupings of notes in between. I'm letting them all kind of blend together. Alright, dig. So our next chord, which is going to be this G add 13 chord, we're going to do a down pick on the 5th and 4th strings, and then we're going to go up just on the 2nd string at the 3rd fret, and then you're going to do a down pick on the 4th and 3rd strings, and then an up on the 1st and 2nd strings together, and then we'll go back to a down pick on the 5th and 4th strings, and then an up just on the 2nd string at the 3rd fret again, and then a down pick on the 4th and 3rd strings, and then you're going to do an up pick on the 1st and 2nd strings again. So all together, slowly, that looks like this. Very cool. Alright, and our next chord, we're going to move that first finger back 1 fret so it's on the 1st fret, and we're going to, this chord is called D sus4 add 9 over B flat. D suspended 4 add 9 over B flat. Cool, that's a fun one to say. Alright, so this one we're going to go down on the 5th and 4th strings, up on the 2nd string at the 3rd fret, then we're going to go down on the 4th and 3rd strings, and then up on the 1st and 2nd strings together, and then down again on the 5th and 4th strings, and then up on the 2nd string at the 3rd fret again, and then, at least on the recording from the record, he goes down again on the 5th and 4th strings, and then right here, as he's changing to a C chord, he takes his hand off and you get the 3rd and 2nd strings open. Cool. And then we go to our C chord. So this is where it gets a little tricky, and I'm going to walk you through it. Alright, the first thing you're going to do is hit the 5th and 4th strings together going down. Then you're going to go up on the 3rd and 2nd strings together. Then here's where the hard stuff starts. Alright, so into the woods we go. We're going to hit the 4th and 3rd strings together, but before you do that, you're going to take your 2nd finger off, you're going to hit it down, and then right after you hit it down, you're going to do a hammer on to that 2nd fret of the 4th string. So that's like this. And so I just did one pick, and then while it was still ringing, I hammered on with my middle finger to the 2nd fret of the 4th string. So that's like this. Cool. And then after that, we're going to go up on the 1st and 2nd strings together. And then you're going to do this little line, kind of. We're going to hit the 3rd string open. Then we're going to go up on the 2nd and 1st strings together again. And then you're going to hit down again on the 3rd and 2nd strings, but we're going to do a hammer on from the 0 fret of the 3rd string to the 2nd fret of the 3rd string, while we're holding our 1st finger on the 1st fret of the 2nd string. So that's going to go like this. Like that. And then we do one more up on the 1st and 2nd strings. So that whole measure, really slow, is going to sound like this. Cool. Then here's what we do. Then we put our pinky down on the 3rd fret of the 3rd string, and we're going to go down on the 3rd and 2nd strings together, and our first finger's still on the 1st fret of the 2nd string. So we go down, then we go up, you leave those fingers there, and we go up on the 1st and 2nd strings together, and then you're going to take your pinky off and put your 2nd finger, your middle finger, on the 2nd fret of the 3rd string, and we're going to go down with that one and the 1st fret of the 2nd string. And then we're going to go up again on the 1st and 2nd strings together. And then we're going to take our middle finger off, and we're going to go down on the 3rd string and the 2nd string, which still has our 1st finger on the 1st fret. And then we're going to go up again on the 1st and 2nd strings. And then here, you could either use your pinky on the 3rd fret of the 4th string or move your 3rd finger down one. It doesn't really matter. I like going with my pinky. And you take the rest of your fingers off, and we get this like weird open F chord. And you hit that 3rd fret of the 4th string down by itself, and then you do the open first 3 strings together, strings 1, 2, and 3, before we go into our next chord, which is E sus 4. So that whole measure together sounds like this, slowly. So that whole C run slowly sounds like this. So I'll do that one more time. Here we go. Cool. Then we go to our E sus 4 chord, which is our 2nd, 3rd, and 4th fingers all on the 2nd fret, spanning the 5th string, the 4th string, and the 3rd string. So that's 2nd fret of the 5th string with your 2nd finger, 2nd fret of the 4th string with your 3rd finger, and 2nd fret of the 3rd string with your pinky. And we're just going to run down the line here like this. We're going to start by hitting the 3rd string at the 2nd fret down, then the 2 top strings, the 1st and 2nd string open, up. Then we're going to go down on the 2nd fret of the 4th string, and then we're going to go those 2 top strings again, open up. And then on this one, he hits the 5th and 4th strings together, down, and then up on the 1st and 2nd string, open again. And then this one, on the last one of that measure, he hits the 6th string and the 5th strings together, for that E power chord, and then he hits the 1st and 2nd strings up. And that one was down on the bottom there. So that whole measure slowly sounds like this. Yeah. Cool. And then we go to our E chord. So we just take our pinky off and leave our 2nd fingers and 3rd fingers where they're at, and put our 1st finger on the 1st fret of the 3rd string. And for this one, we're going to start by hitting the 4th and 3rd string together, down, and then you're going to go up on the 2 open strings up top, the 1st and 2nd strings. Then you're going to hit just the 4th string by itself down, and then up on the 1st and 2nd strings, and then down on the 5th string by itself, and then up again on the 1st and 2nd strings. And then right there he kind of lets go of the chord, and he does an open 5th string, and then does the, that's down, and then he does the 1st and 2nd string open. And what that does is kind of emulates the 5 chord or an A chord, going back to D. And then he starts singing. I wish I could sing like Neil Young. That was my cartoony impression of it. Okay, so I'm gonna play the whole thing super slow. I'll get up close here so you can see my fingers and my picking. And let's see if I can get through this with no mistakes. Here we go. Alright, cool. So that's The Needle and the Damage Done. That's the intro for it by Mr. Neil Young. And here it is again at tempo, hopefully with minimal mistakes. Let's see if I can do this. Here we go. There's that mistake. Let's try that again. Awesome. That's The Needle and the Damage Done. That's the intro to it, and I hope you enjoyed this tutorial. My name's Cole Rudy, and I do music for a living. I teach and perform guitar, ukulele, mandolin, lap steel. I'm available for Skype lessons. I live in Denver, Colorado, so if you're out this way, I'd love to get together and have a lesson with you sometime. My email is colemrudy@gmail.com. And yeah, have a great day. Here it is one more time. Let's play that correctly though. Here we go. And again. Thanks everybody, have a great day, and I'll see you next time.